should go check on the kittens. Holy God. It's so hot. They're all hiding out. Good. That fucking horsefly's still in there, dude. Holy shit. I got chased out of my house by a horsefly. Okay, everybody seems to be okay. Hello, loves. How's my tubes, people? Look what I'm making. A shrug. It's like sleeves. I've been watching Game of Thrones and streaming on TikTok for the last week. Well, I've been reading the book for a long time. A month or so now. Yeah, a horsefly! It was like flying directly at my face and flying around. It would fly like all up in my shit and all around me, and then it would fly away, and then it would come fly back all around me, and then it would fly away, and then it would come all the one time I literally hit it with my hand. I saw it come from over here, and I just swept my hand and I hit him. But then it just came right, it like flew out the window and then just came right back for me. And so I got a dish towel and I held the dish towel in my hand. Right? 2, 3. Anyway, so yeah, I got a dish towel and I held the dish towel and waited for him to come back because I knew it was going to come back. And sure enough, it fucking came back. It kept coming at me, and I was like, dude, if it comes at me one more fucking time, I'm out of here. And I was like, where am I gonna go? Oh my God, it's 109 degrees. What the fuck, dude? Let me check my camera really quickly and check on the other dogs. I'll be right back. All right, they look good. They're happy in there. Jeez, dude. $109 degrees, dude. I knew it. I literally knew it. I said that this morning. I was like, okay, so the thermostat people, whatever their names are, the weather people, yeah. The weather people says that our high is 90. And I know that whatever they tell me, it's going to be 20 degrees actually hotter than that. It's without fail has been the way. And here we are again. Exactly, well, 19 is close enough. Fucking degrees hotter in reality than it says that it's going to be on the weather app. So when I see it says it's going to be 90, I know that we're going to be fucked. I should text Adam. text Adam, it's literally 109 here. The AC's holding up. Dogs look okay. Cats are all hiding out. Chickens are in the pool.
Okay, sending.
Okay, so I can't watch this because... Oh, I can watch my political stuff now. Yay! Secret Service agents fired. Yeah, whatever. Israel guilty of systematic sexual violence against Palestinians. The UN confirms.
So UN inquiry verifies that Israel's systemic use of sexual reproductive violence silence no longer an option. So recently they were trying to revive the old October 7th lies about the Hamas using sexual violence. That got debunked roundly. That was a horrible article that was published in the New York Times, written by people who aren't journalists, written by paid propagandists, and it all got exposed. And even the AP and lots of places apologized for the coverage and admitted it was not right. Well, it's because we've showed you before video. I hate covering this stuff, but I have to cover it. A recent UN paper titled "More Than a Human Can Bear" uncovers harrowing accounts of sexual, reproductive, and other forms of gender-based violence committed by Israeli forces and settlers against Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank since October 7th. So that's what's really happening. So that's why all these fake, recently, most just happened again. They came out with these fake, and my good friend Piers Morgan breathlessly repeats those bullshit propaganda about Hamas, and of course, to take the eye off of what's happening. The UN Independent International Commission of Inquiry documented cases of such violence against male and female detainees in over 10 military and Israeli prison service facilities, exposing systematic sexual abuse, including rape. Systematic. In the thread are some of the report's most chilling findings. And here's the report. Israel's systematic sexual violence against Palestinian men and women, UN Commission's harrowing findings. A paper published by the UN Independent Commission on the Occupied. The Commission examined Israel's systematic use of sexual violence, including rape, against Palestinian men and women. The paper presented testimonies from victims who shared harrowing accounts of assault by Israeli forces. Following our excerpts. So here's some excerpts.
Yep, he sure was. And he said, oh, we're going to nominate Trump for the
subjected to sexual abuse and harassment,
Nobel Peace Prize. Like he has any right to nominate anybody for anything.
Female family members. This is
yeah, no.
Again, the exact thing that they say Hamas was doing. This is what they're doing. The commission received information about detainees being forced to undress and lie on top of each other while subjected to verbal abuse and forced to curse their mothers. Sounds like what we did to Abu Ghraib, to the prisoners at Abu Ghraib. Do you remember that? They made them all take their clothes. And then, of course, nobody got in trouble for that except the lowest level person possible. It wasn't Dick Cheney. It wasn't George Bush. It wasn't Donald Rumsfeld. It wasn't any of the people who ordered this to happen. One detainee was subjected to an attempted rape with a carrot in the anus in front of the other detainees. I think that would have been the part that I highlighted, but so be it. In the at least 2 cases documented by the commission, victims needed medical treatment and or surgery due to the injuries caused by rape. In one case, a detained Palestinian man was raped after he was transferred from Ofer prison to SD Taman detention facility. Now, there's videos of some of this stuff. They have legit videos. They took me into an interrogation room and suspended me by my arms behind my back. My toes barely touched the floor. A male guard inserted a metal stick in my penis on several occasions, about 20 times in total. I started bleeding. The pain was excruciating, but the humiliation was worse. That was a Palestinian detainee. The commission received reports that Dr. Adnan Al-Bursh, the head of the orthopedic department at the Al-Shifa hospital in Gaza City, was subjected to sexual violence in an Israeli prison prior to his death in Israel custody. Al-Bursh died at Ofer prison in April after 4 months in an Israeli prison, allegedly due to the mistreatment he endured during his
They're
captivity.
literally
From Al Jazeera,
evil.
everything is legitimate. Israeli leaders defend soldiers accused of rape. Here's Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan is desperate for sexual violence to have taken place against Israelis and will go as far as using a known Zionist propagandist to make the claim, but will completely ignore the hundreds of reports and evidence showing Israelis perpetrated such violence. Here's Israeli soldiers accused of raping 11-year-olds. Allegation erodes public respect for armed forces.
And this
17
is
military personnel
what
and 5
Trump is
civilians
supporting.
questions. And here's all the headlines. 17 Israeli soldiers
You still support
investigated
Trump
rape
and
case.
think Trump is some
Israeli
peace
soldiers
guy
attempted to
and
rape
super
Palestinian teenagers.
amazing.
Israeli army officer
You don't see him for what he truly is,
of
which is
raping Palestinian women.
bought.
Israel soldiers
part of
and
it.
settlers blindfold, beat,
He
urinate,
always has been. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but I was live streaming when the assassination attempt happened. And from the absolute moment I saw it for the very first time, I have been saying that I don't believe that it is real. I don't believe it's real. It didn't look real. It didn't look real. It looked exactly like it looks when a movie, they take or like a stage actor, they're acting the movement and they have a squib. That's what it looked like to me, just what it looked like. I was just like, what the fuck? I've seen real gun activities happen, and so that just didn't look real to me. And especially when he stood up with blood running down his face and put his hand in the air, I was just like, oh, this is definitely faked. Okay. Alright, I see now. But that was all a part of the plan. Kamala was never supposed to win, you guys. It was all a part of this master plan to get Trump back in office. It's a theater. Like you guys have been, or well, maybe not you guys, but I've been watching Game of Thrones and listening to the books a lot lately. And it makes me just see so how they will put on a whole ass fucking show for the group when everybody that's engaged, there's 10 people in the room and they're all having a situation, and every single one of them knows that what they're doing is acting the part and saying what they need to say, so that the rest is oh they tried, yeah. It's all a show. And that is exactly what's been going on with the politics. That's why they're so desperate to keep a third party off the books. That's why RFK is now telling us that we need to have the fucking mark of the beast, that he wants us to get chips or whatever, wear a device or something. I can't remember exactly what it was, but he's gone down the rabbit hole. And then to hear Bongino and Kash Patel all get out there with their whole ass chest. Well, I guess it was only half of their chest because they looked like they were pressed about it. But
you guys, everyone is coming
to watch them, in that interview talk about how there's no, he did, it was a self-deletion, it wasn't anything else. And then the video comes out showing a different part of the jail that has absolutely nothing to do with Epstein's cell at all. And there's a minute of the footage missing, and it's just a big bunch of retarded stuff. But it's all a show. And then they found out they were watching, these guys were watching what they've been doing with our weather patterns and stuff, and that storm that happened where those girls got killed. The guy, he was on Jimmy Dore yesterday actually, and he was talking about it, and he's like, we were literally watching it happen in real time. this was not a natural storm. And now these geoengineering company, it's literally, they're called Rainmaker. So this geoengineering company called Rainmaker, we're just out in the open talking about it when they literally like 2 months ago were telling us it's just contrails. It's just contrails. But now they're just talking about it openly. But this Rainmaker company guy got on and was like, or not on the show, but he was on doing an interview, and so they watched that footage. And in that interview, he was like, no, under no circumstances was our stuff, to cause for that, and this, that, and the third. And the guy that was on Jimmy Dore's show, the expert who was watching the radar and watching everything go down in real time, he said, yeah, well, that is a red herring. That geoengineering company is a red herring trying to distract us from the fact that our government has the capabilities to cause that through the HARP machine or whatever it is. And he was talking about all this electromagnet. He was talking about all these frequencies and stuff, but I cannot remember any of the wordage that he used, so I'm not even gonna bother trying. But he was talking about all the process to which how they created that rain, and how when you look at the radar, the storm was focused and concentrated in one area. It didn't move. It didn't fluctuate in strength. It just sat over this area and just dumped rain for excess amounts of time. And he said that's how you know that it was from the laser. I'm going to call it the laser because I don't know what else to call it. The laser thing, because that is what happens when you shine when you do the laser thing. I don't know if it's really a laser, but I don't know what else to call it. The frequency, the microwave, not a microwave. What is it called? Like the waves that you can't see. Anyways, it's that kind of machine. And anyways, so he said that when he was watching that go down, he literally was looking at other, he went and did a public records search or something, and he was able to see that the government facility that's right over there by where that happened, they say that they're just harmless radar, but in fact that they used 9 million kilowatts of electricity that night that it all went down, that the storm came through and sat over that area and whatever. And so he was like, they did it. It's you can see it right here. You can see that's not natural the way that storm is doing it. And then these guys who say they're doing the harmless radar, why would they all of a sudden have a burst of electric use like that? That's absolutely crazy. It's obvious what was going on. You can see it in real time. And yeah, it's crazy to think about.
EF soldier raped a female comrade, gets 5.5 years and raped a female comrade. 3 Israeli soldiers charged with raping, sodomizing female comrade. You see that? Okay. Soldier kills herself after reporting she was raped. Now Israel reprobed suspicious of negligence. IDF general indicted for rape and indecent acts. It seems like this is a pattern inside the Israeli armed forces. Palestinian victims seek new trial against Israeli officer accused of rape. Probe reveals senior IDF officer lured minors online. Female IDF soldiers were raped and sex trafficked in an Israel prison. I have some questions, big questions. Female IDF soldiers were pimped to terror inmates, prison commander says. So this is the stuff that the U.S. media is not going to highlight. They're not going to talk about. They rape and then they lie. They have Mia Shem in the report where they claim Hamas committed sexual violence. She was the woman who claimed a Hamas member tried to rape her with his eyes. But when she went back to Israel, she was actually drugged and raped by her Israeli Jewish Zionist fitness instructor. So that's what's happening. Also, the people who are reporting this are, of course, so
it's 110 degrees.
I'm going to talk about this in a minute, but Trump recently sanctioned the UN rapporteur on Israel Gaza. Because she's
going to get hotter, dude. What the fuck, dude?
She's telling the truth about the high-tech companies being making profits off the genocide happening in Gaza. This is all happening right out in the open. And the thing is, most people are against this. Even Republicans under 50 years old, not on board with Israel doing this. Not on board with Israel. So again, this is another example of you don't live in a democracy. You live in an oligarchy ruled by the powerful, the military-industrial complex, the AIPAC lobby. The AIPAC lobby has way more influence in our Congress than our labor unions do, that's for sure. They have way more influence than you do as a voter. So that's what this is about. Again, you don't live in a democracy, and Donald Trump is going to cover this up. Donald Trump is not going to talk about this because he's owned by the AIPAC lobby also. Donald Trump is compromised. We see him compromised with the Epstein files, completely compromised. His whole administration's compromised. And why are they compromised over Epstein? Well, because that has to do with Israel. And again, once again, the AIPAC lobby controls them. So this is all about Israel first. This is not about United States first. This is not America first. And, you know, it's nice to see loud voices in the MAGA movement speak out against Trump's...
This thing is going to be so cute.
Putting Israel first instead of America first. And Trump is wrecking his own... By the way, most people were against that big, beautiful bill, too. So he's doing the same thing. He's giving tax breaks to billionaires and millionaires. He's cutting health care for people. He's exploding the military budget.
Oh my goodness!
He won't audit the Fed. He won't audit.
Oh my God! It's literally perfect.
All that Doge stuff, that was all a ruse. We were all suckered. I got suckered. I thought that was real. I thought Elon Musk, they were actually going to do something. That's why maybe you see Elon Musk screaming at the top of his lungs because he feels like he was against Donald Trump now because he feels like he was used, because he was. You come see us on tour. We're going to be in Toronto, Red Bank, New Jersey, Northampton, Massachusetts,
so
Concord, New Hampshire, Oxnard, California, Rutherford, New Jersey, New York, Edmonton, Calgary, and Vancouver. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.
I will be wearing this one. I might be making a bunch of these. I'm excited about this. I need one in like every color.
You don't have to say anything, but it may harm your offence. You don't mention when questioned, so just later on in court. And if you do say, maybe given in evidence.
Jack Watkins seemed to have it all. Fancy clothes, shoes, luxury bags, luggage, a glamorous lifestyle that he chronicled online, but it turns out it was all a lie. Watkins was just convicted of fraud in the UK, and all of his stories have unraveled. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. There is this bizarre case out of the United Kingdom that just wrapped up that we want to talk about, and it is some wild twists and turns that we just had to tell you about. So you have this unemployed con man who apparently managed to swindle people out of thousands of pounds, including, by the way, his own father. And it turns out this wasn't even his most sadistic crime. And we'll get to more of that in just a minute. But 26-year-old Jack Watkins was once featured in a Channel 4 documentary called Rich Kids of Instagram, which chronicled the lives of some of Britain's most famous or influential young people. But it turns out Watkins wasn't actually rich. He was just really good at pretending to be. And investigators say he used that power to convince people to invest in fake schemes. And then he would just spend their money to further his lifestyle. The scam that brought everything crashing down for Watkins involved luxury Hermes bags. The bags can only be purchased directly from the company by select registered customers. If they're resold, they can sell for thousands and thousands of pounds. According to the Crown Prosecution Service, Watkins created this fake business venture where he was supposedly one of these registered customers and was buying and selling exclusive handbags that most people didn't have access to. And he offered others the chance to buy and sell too at a profit. But once they handed over their money, they never saw it again. So to keep up the ruse, investigators say Watkins used the funds he'd stolen, as well as loans from banks or pawnbrokers, to go on fancy vacations and stay at wildly expensive hotels like the Dorchester Hotel in London. Prosecutors say that between March of 2019 and December 2022, he spent more than 139,000 pounds at the Dorchester. He posted photos and videos of himself in exotic locations, wearing clothing and shoes from top fashion designers, carrying luxury bags. He even referred to himself as a Kardashian of Cheshire. One of the women that he tried to defraud caught on to his scheme. And when she posted her suspicions to social media, things quickly started to unravel for Watkins. Okay, talk more about this. I want to bring in London lawyer Nick Brett. Nick, so good to see you. Thanks for coming back here on Sidebar.
Yes.
So this story certainly, caught our eye here across the pond. What has been the reaction in the UK? A lot of people talking about it.
Actually, there has been quite a lot of press coverage in all the main newspapers, in the Mail and the Guardian, on the BBC, because as you say, he was featured, wasn't he, as a younger person on a documentary, and so he's brought notoriety onto himself over here, certainly.
And just so people know, the Dorchester, it's a pretty fancy hotel, right?
Exactly. I think £3,000 a night, some of the rooms in Dorchester, so pretty expensive.
Hey everybody, this is another law and crime legal alert. Did you know that children are being diagnosed with serious conditions like type 2 diabetes and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and the research is potentially...
Yeah, lightning storms are fucking shit down there.
They're stepping in to fight to hold these food companies accountable.
We don't have them here, thank God.
Large corporations, they are ready to stand up for the families who deserve justice. So if your child under 21 has
but
been
it's
diagnosed with type 2 diabetes
109.
or fatty liver disease, then visit www.forthepeople.com/food or scan the QR code on screen to learn more. Isn't it interesting that the way he was caught was through social media, right? We talk about it, but that's sometimes it. We talk about investigative journalism as a way to spur, an investigation into something that moves into the criminal arena, moves into investigation. But social media has a strong power too.
I mean, certainly it seems like he took on the wrong person, doesn't it? I mean, he gained a lot of his notoriety and the false trappings of wealth through advertising via social media. But it seems that one of the people that he targeted as part of his fraudulent scheme was a local woman who sold designer handbags in Cheshire. And it was her that placed an advertisement on Instagram, I think it was, claiming that she'd been defrauded, and that was then spotted by a close friend of his, I think, whom he had defrauded nearly £100,000, and they arranged to meet up, and detectives were called to the scene to arrest him.
So Watkins was accused of defrauding several people, and that included his own father. Yeah. Now this is just a whole other layer to this, because this man claimed that he loaned his son 29,000 pounds in 2019, and according to the BBC, Watkins' dad spent the next year asking for his money back but never got it. Another victim was a barman who worked at Harrods. This is a big, multi-layered department store. If you haven't been, it's awesome. The BBC reports that he said that Watkins was a regular customer at the store, purported to be a millionaire. So when he asked the barman to loan him money, the victim thought, he was good for it.
My eye is on fire.
Senior Crown Prosecutor Laura
Just go
Atherton
pee,
broke down
Heather.
the statement,
Jesus.
quote, Jack Watkins was a serial liar who funded his luxury lifestyle by defrauding others, including his own father and a longtime friend, of large sums of money over several years. He would tell his victims that he had connections that could source luxury goods for them, predominantly handbags, such as Birkins, Bez, or that he could get them himself. Some of the victims wanted the bags for themselves or as gifts to others. Others thought that they were entering into a genuine business opportunity, lending Watkins money to buy luxury items that he told them would generate a profit. It was all lies. Most of the goods and profits never materialized, and the loans were never repaid in full. Nick, pretty brazen scheme, to say the least, right? I mean, what role do you think, when you look at this, how was he able to do this? What are some factors that can help exacerbate something like this?
Well, it's a classic investment scheme, isn't it? And what you do is, as you rightly pointed out, advertise on social media that you're a wealthy person, you dress in expensive clothes which you bought with the proceeds of your fraud, and you con other people into thinking that you're somebody that you're not. And in this particular case, Hermes, I think, only sells handbags to particular licensed customers, and he fraudulently made out that he was a licensed customer, and obviously persuaded others to invest in that license, if you like, and gave them the opportunity to make profits to sell on the handbags. Designer items like these handbags, as I understand it, are very few and far between, and therefore they increase in value quite significantly because of their scarcity. And so that is really what he was buying into. And obviously he had this prior television show in which he portrayed himself as a sort of a Kardashian. I think he called himself of Cheshire, and I think he comes from what I read, of relatively wealthy families. So I think his father made some money in property, and so he's obviously been given advantages in life that allowed him to portray himself in a way that allowed him to defraud people.
Now, one of the women who helped take Watkins down,
Let's get some shit real quick.
was this high-end.
I just went and checked on the dogs, and they're doing good. I got the dogs in the Adams bus, the AC going. Money's hiding out somewhere, thank God. Oh, it's not so bad in here. Okay, great. Oh, fuck. Be quiet, Heather. It's good in here. It's way better than it is outside, that's for sure. Shit, here she comes. Yep, money, it's super hot, Mama. You want to go get in the car with me? Okay, I'll take you in the car with me. Yeah, we'll go in the car. Hold on. Hold on, just wait. No. Just wait. Please get down. Go over there. Go over here. Don't get the kittens out. Stop. Nope. Stop. Stop it. No, you don't. Here, you want this? Okay. Oh, stop. My food, bro. All right, me and Dean, come on. I got our drinks in the car. Come on. Got my cakes. Yes. Come on, kitty. Come on. Hey, Buggy. Come on. Come on. Are you coming? You want to come get in the car? Come on. Okay, well then lay in the grass over there, I guess. At least you're outside. Ooh, this is weird. I don't know if I've ever sat here before. Probably have, though. Whoopsies. You just bang your tablet, you Riri. Oh, geez, wow. What was holding the tablet in before? Just sheer luck? Okay. Well, that's that. Meat.
Dan Bolingo will not stay at the FBI if Pam Bondi is not removed. Not only is Dan Bolingo, but now Kash Patel is threatening to resign if Pam Bondi isn't fired as Attorney General. Holy fucking shit. If Kash leaves, MAGA implodes, I'm gonna be honest, I totally side with Kash Patel over Pam Bondi. Any fucking day of the week, absolutely, without a fucking second. Like, yeah, bro, like, this guy is, I think this guy is way more on our side than she is.
Here's the intel I've got from multiple FBI sources and White House connected sources.
That's good cheddar.
Carl Serafin has really proven he's really dialed in and has a great knack for figuring out what's going on.
Are you coming?
There is orders obviously coming down from the top. Trump to move on from the Epstein thing. And so when this fiasco came out with them giving mixed messages on the Epstein files, the first move was to blame Pam Bondi, who Susie Wiles likes, Trump likes, but everybody else doesn't like, and reportedly is on her way out in the near future. At least people are pushing for that. Bongino will probably resign, if not now, soon.
They have to resign. They have to resign.
It's almost like Alex Jones is a prophet.
Because if they don't resign, then they're complicit.
But they can keep his honor and go.
I can, guys.
That's
I have
so.
a crazy idea for the new.
It's like sweet.
I've got a crazy
tangy.
idea. I know it might not seem.
That's good cheddar.
But there have been so many videos.
This is Parmesan cheddar.
Alex Jones
And then,
acting
I don't know,
like
this
he
might
should
be
be in the
Capicola, I
Warhammer
can't remember.
40K universe as an Inquisitor. That
I just try to grab a different one.
Back to the
Grab a
media.
little bit of each one every time. I try to rotate.
Kash Patel is really the guy.
No. Everybody says no. No, gentlemen. Like, back this. No. You see, you don't understand.
They've all got mustaches and they bug their eyes out at you and think they scare you. And you just look like an absolute clown freak who works for murdering terrorists that jack our food and water. I think you're a big joke. That's what I think you are, murdering scum. And army bases all over the world raping.
I'm telling you guys. Drastic times call for drastic solutions.
I watched Alex Jones videos for the first time
Make a very strong point.
in 2006.
Person, but because of some of the issues and some of his congressional testimony
No.
that he called perjury, that they still let slip through, that he's
2005.
more what the Washington system actually likes.
Yes.
And so that's where we're at on all of this. And I wanted to get Robert Barnes' take on what I'm saying here on air. And
I watched the Bohemian Grove video.
Theorist running the health department. I don't think we knew
This is
that
a little bit old.
there as well.
A couple days old.
Do you know what the funny thing is?
I just clicked
I
because
think
I
that
don't know what else to
RFK
click.
has probably been the least controversial and the most positive impact. RFK said no more Red 2, and they stopped making Red 2. So we had one. So let me get this straight. So you bring in a nutball, and he has all these nutball policies that are Red 40 that nobody believes are true.
Someone
and then he
commented,
just does them and things are better.
no
You know
client
where that
list,
comes from? Yeah,
no
it's from
taxes.
DeviantArt. I could have told you that.
the fact that I don't believe this Epstein Streisand effect's going away, I think what's gone on the last few months, really just finally last week, is only going to get more intense now. That's my view. I think it's a giant distraction from overall the great things the Trump administration is doing. And I wish this fiasco would have never happened.
True.
Because now Epstein's gone from a mega massive story to really the biggest ever. And it's going to become one of the deciding issues of the Trump administration, regardless of what Trump wants. So that's where we are. What's your take?
Yep, fucking exactly. This is exactly the way I feel about it, 100%. And he loses hair in the lawsuit? I guess so. I believe they dropped the Epstein because of the bullshit disaster on purpose, so I don't know. But either way, Dan Bolingo, if they resign, if him and Kash Patel both resign, that would be probably the most based possible thing that you could do.
A whitewash broke just a few days ago. Seems like 100 years ago.
You already lied, though, so you already lost your credibility. So.
And I told you he came right from the top from Trump for whatever reason he wants to move on. Never seen any evidence he's connected to Epstein. But regardless, we were told all this stuff was coming out. Now we're told it never existed. We know that kind of stuff doesn't.
Hey guys, this is Ukradowski here of WeAreChange.org at the TPUSA SAS event here as we are left with one glaring question. What's going to be the future of the Republican political MAGA movement as it looks like it is more divided than ever? It's pretty clear.
It's empty there.
A lot of the top people
Holy shit.
It's pretty clear from listening to some of the speeches. Tulsi Gabbard just gave a speech here. She's the head of DNI. If anyone knows where the bodies are buried, it's her. But we're not getting any of the bodies. We're not getting any of the answers. We're not getting a lot of what we were promised to, as a lot of people here that I've been talking to have a lot of buyer's remorse. I wanted to talk about this kind of overall spectrum based on some of the speeches here, since they definitely
literally
contradicted
the best food ever.
Tremendously on this type of mindset, on this type of ideology,
and good crackers.
I think
these are like
now at a major crossroads.
Sesame crackers.
Will, in many ways, I think
they're good as fuck.
Determine where we go from here. As during some of the speeches here, we saw a lot of mixed messages, to say the least here. Tucker Carlson, his speech that he gave here was just absolutely shattering, to say the least here. The things that he brought up on stage here, the things that he introduced as ideas have been big things that you couldn't share, you couldn't talk about. You weren't really allowed to talk about because you would be canceled, you'd be destroyed. Whether you believe in those things or not,
also known as the Clean Girl. She's an influencer from Chandler, Arizona, and she has amassed over 4.7 million followers on TikTok, 16.2 million subscribers on YouTube, and 1.8 million on Instagram. Her most popular TikTok has gotten over 150 million views, and she has a short on YouTube with over 500 million views. She is a huge creator, and she is the absolute queen of rage baits.
It's an alien.
But in my opinion, she is also making pathetic content while intentionally acting and talking like a child. Today's book report, for lack of a better term, is all about the Clean Girl and how she rose to fame, some background info that you probably have never heard of, and why she has so much controversy surrounding her. And then we're going to go into why I think, in my personal opinion, that she is also creating fetish content. And we're going to watch lots of videos of her together, so you're going to have a very good grasp on this situation by the end of the video. I could not make these videos without support from my sponsors, so I'm going to roll to that, but I will be right back.
I've never heard of this person.
Nowadays, meal planning and complicated recipes just feel like a thing of the past. There's so many ways to simplify our lives now and get back lots of extra time that we could be spending at the beach or with our family and friends. With Hungry Root, which is today's sponsor, you can get more of that time back. what it is, but whenever I sit here, I feel like my old mountain man prospector alter ego comes out.
Nice out today, nice out yesterday.
Okay, so my goal for today is to finish up the beams, paint them. I think I might make one more because I forgot to account for the corner of the room. I'm just gonna make like a tiny little one. We can also do Kiki's wall, which I'm quite nervous but excited about. I'm not great with geometry and straight lines. It's a journey we will take together. Sound good?
All right then, let's get this party started.
I started off with just brown paint, but then I mixed some black in to make it a little darker and to help with some of those wood grain tones.
Hello. Next project, a little out of my wheelhouse. Requires some delicacy. It's not something that I do well. Frog tape, a laser level, and a big juicy grain. Not smooth at all. Many ridges. It's gonna help me to kind of draw this out first. While this looks very complicated at first, it's really not so bad. These two sections are actually the same length, and then just halfway between there is another line. And finally, the leaves and flowers get painted on the big stripe. Now what I need to do is just figure out size of everything, which is kind of fun. This wall is not directly symmetrical. There's more room on this
It's
side.
111 degrees outside.
So we're just gonna play around. I'm gonna put the laser level up to give myself some straight lines. Sorry if I sound very nasally. I just sneezed about 67 times. Before we do all that though, that does require me to move quite a few things. I'm trying not to let this monstrosity stress me out. Not very successfully though, because every time I look at it, I get annoyed. Let's get started. Do you believe in me? You know, in Peter Pan, Tinkerbell needs the validation of people believing in her and clapping. I need that right now to do some straight lines. I do believe in geometry. I do. Now that is a Ghibli quad if I've ever seen one. All right, let's take a look. I am pleased. This is probably the neatest paint job I've ever done in my life. It's looking like Kiki's bedroom wall, which I'm very excited about. I just need to do, you know, the leaves and the flowers. I think I'm probably gonna leave that for tomorrow morning. I kind of like to have a brand new task for a brand new day kind of thing. The beam that I forgot about is kind of throwing a wrench in things because the construction adhesive takes a while to set, so I went to pick it up and it fell apart again. I'm just gonna leave that for the night to set, and then we can put those up tomorrow as well. Project by project, we're chugging away. Every time I walk into this room, I'll show you, it just fills me with a lot of joy. Besides all the garbage just thrown on the ground, it's making me really happy. I will see you tomorrow. Beams. The way I do this is very, very simple. I just literally take nails, the little flat head on top, pound it into the wall. The renter-friendly way of doing this would be to do mounting strips. These weigh literally nothing. Mounting these to the wall with mounting strips
would be super easy. If I ever want to take these down, all I have to do is fill in the tiny little holes. Easy peasy. I'm gonna get started on that. And then just a little bit more painting, which you will see before we head to the leaves.
Yeah.
I'm tired today. Not getting a lot of sleep last night. Torrentially downpouring and thunderstorming. Our little man screams eternally into the night when there's even a little bit of thunder. So we were up for a while. And I feel like a 90s dad by saying this. In fact, I do need to do the proper pose for this. Yeah, the grass needed this. All right, let's get started.
You're so good.
I'm already sweaty. This does not bode well. This is the summertime Reno. Can I even get this?
Yeah.
Okay. Please don't break. Seems like my measurements were a little off. I'm so sweaty. That sucks. Oh, bugger. What? Renovation gods. Please let this work. A little bit more. Hell yeah. Let's go. Oh. Here's where I might lose some of your faith, and you would also be completely justified. We're gonna take this a little too far. If you look at Kiki's quarters, there's these plaster walls, and very obviously underneath it is some wood. And there is a part where it's chipping off, and you can see some of the wood underneath it.
Love when I do that down to the last bite.
I know. I can just paint over it. And you know what doesn't matter? People's opinions on the internet. I love you, but have some faith, okay? I think it's gonna look kind of cool. I'm gonna do it to this corner. Almost 1-for-1 copy. We'll keep it kind of small, okay? How's that? So I've mixed up like a gray brown. Yeah, okay. Right up against that edge. Doesn't look like much, but once we start adding the details, I think this is gonna look smashing. Shadows and highlights. Environment's very modern and clean looking. Are you ready? I am. It's time to paint the leaves and the little flowers. That is in Kiki's bedroom motif. Light green paint. And I think what I'm gonna do is water it down so that it's almost like watercolors. I'm not even gonna sketch this out. My phone broke.
It's 112 fucking degrees outside, dude.
I happen to have this flip phone. And you know what? I'm too lazy that once I sign into everything, I'm not getting a new phone. It's fine. I've been wanting to spend less time on my phone lately. And I'll be honest, this makes it annoying enough that I don't reach for my phone. Now I can open with style. Or if I hang up in an angry conversation. That is pretty neon. I think I might have to tone that down a little with some brown.
She literally has like a flip phone.
Snowsberries taste like snowsberries.
It smells like hot dog poop. Like coming through the AC.
Right. Maybe get a little bit more painterly with it. I think my lines are a little too rigid.
Is it on recycle or is it on?
So you can see how more fun with it. You know.
Maybe that'll help. That was a really good lunch, dudes. A really good lunch. back to work.
Morning. Why I chose to curl my hair to just a day like this, the world may never know. What I need to do today is the fun stuff. I am headed to the home improvement store to get some frames to make like a fake little picture frame thing from the monitors.
It's not TikTok. I can hit my jewel.
Michael is copious amounts of faux.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Foliage. Definitely the first person to think of that.
I don't think it's a good idea to go to the river by yourself in case you
First
drown.
I was looking at this leaf trim, but then I realized that it was 8 feet long, and sticking that in my car would have been a struggle. So instead I found these 4-foot sections that I liked just as much, and then it was time to whisper sweet nothings to the plant section. What's up?
What are those purple number crowns on YouTube? That's cool. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never seen it.
To the craft store. Why is this so cute? This would be really cute if we were doing like a reality thing. It's 70% off. Should I just
buy it?
in case I ever do like a burglars or reality thing? I don't have enough self-control for this. Let me in here. Shopping is done, and now I am somewhere a little predictable. I cannot run errands and not get myself a sweet treat, I fear. A little nectar. Alright, so I'm heading back to the house now, and then we can start on our projects, including a little toy that I picked up for myself. Behold, a new toy. One of my goals this year was to get a little bit better with woodworking, being a little bit more self-reliant, because Nick is always busy.
That's the way it goes, unfortunately, as life as a woman.
Things. I have to trim, measure out, and cut 45-degree angles to make the frames. This is just a very simple table saw, which still gives me the heaves and the jeeps. We're gonna be brave and keep my phalanges very far away. You probably know that me and power tools is a formidable combination. We're gonna keep this actually unplugged until I'm ready to use it. Very simple, teeny weeny little blade. This thing, make into different angles, but for this, we are going 45. We can use this little pusher and go. Seems pretty straightforward. Does not make me any less scared. And because here on this channel, we don't safety, losing a finger today. Not today. What does that warning mean? No, I think it means don't brute strength your way through it. Don't try to force anything. But also, do not delegate this task to your livestock. I'm a big brave girl. I am essentially a carpenter. Now to do this 15 more times. Put together like a little bit, you know, like a carpenter montage, but then I immediately got confused and need Nick's help. Needs to go this way. Yeah. So how do I do that?
The other 45 here. So you're going to go through like this.
Hey, she's a carpenter. Look at the thing, all those cuts. So focus all down. Bet your butts. Hey, she's a carpenter. I opted to glue these together with some glue that I got at the store, and it told me to wet one end, put a thin layer on the other end, and then clamp it for 2 hours.
full disclosure, this did not work. So then after construction adhesive also didn't work, we ended up stapling the backs. Moving on to something that I'm quite looking forward to making. It's been at least 3 minutes since I've made a little guy, and at least 5 minutes since I've made a Gigi. This time, we're going to make a size-accurate Gigi and not one that I need to make huge to stick my arm up his butthole. I am going to make him out of felt. I'm going to needle him together, make him posable so that he can cling onto my monitor and have his little feet dangling off. Absolutely precious. Before we do that, though, I do have to figure out what size I want him to be, because he is quite tiny in the movie. Yay big. I'm just gonna whip up a quick cat skeleton without looking at any anatomical references and hope for the best. So there's his head. Number one, twisty, twisty. Number two, leg number one. Leg number two, a tail. Okay. Let's beef him up. His front paws were looking a little short, so I did add a little bit of length.
111 again.
Here's his little skeleton, little mummy cat.
Text Grandpa Josh. It's 111 up to 112, back to 111 over here! Exclamation point.
The more solid the bowl is gonna get, and then I added some gray for the inner ear. He was looking a little bat-like, but you know, it is what it is. Turns out my clay was really dried up, so I did the same thing with my Gigi puppet. Just made the eyes and nose out of foam, and then painted, covered with resin. He was looking a little scary, so I had.
Alright, we're gonna do a lesson. Cause my tablet is gonna die. What should I listen to? That's not gonna copy strike me. You listen to something that I don't have to watch. Alright, I guess we'll have to do some true crime shit. I told you it's always 20 degrees higher than what it says! Exclamation point. It says it's gonna be 90 on my watch, but it's literally 112. All of the thermometers say so. I am literally sitting in my car with the air conditioning on and have been for at least an hour. I just ate lunch and now I'm crocheting and watching a show. Everything's gonna die. Did you know that in Oregon they just passed a law or whatever, an ordinance, something? It goes into effect January 2025. But if you are on any type of vessel on the water, you have to get registered. So like even if you're gonna take an inner tube, even if you're gonna take like an inner tube and it's 2 inner tubes tied together, you have to register it as a vessel and get a license. Isn't that crazy? Hi Sabrina, I'm super good. Sitting in the car, it's 112 again. So I'm in the car enjoying the air conditioning because I don't know what to do otherwise. Dogs are in the bus with the air conditioning on over there. Let me check the camera real quick. I'll be right back. What do you mean? Come on, give me like different kind of podcasts, for crying out loud. I don't know what else to listen to.
Outstanding, Private Pyle. I think we finally found something that you do well.
What's up, guys? Benny, 1 year ago this week, President Trump survived an on-air execution attempt when a bullet pierced his face and killed members of the MAGA movement, in footage that is still chilling to watch, puts ice in your veins.
You see something that said, take a look at what happened.
It's funny, we were just talking about that. I don't want to
And
say
one of those
crap.
local politicians realized my father had been caught sending child pornography of me through the U.S. mails and told him he could receive immunity from prosecution if he would sell me into the CIA's MK-Ultra mind control project.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We have author of this book,
no, I don't go out on the river.
Kathy O'Brien is with
I don't
us.
have, I don't hang out with anybody. I'm just like really in a solitude period of my life.
And mind control programming.
So, and I won't go do that kind of stuff all by
CIA's
myself.
Notorious MK-Ultra program. She has remained a vocal whistleblower, sharing her story through various media and advocating for awareness about mind control and trauma. Welcome to the show, Kathy O'Brien. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, thank you for having me on.
I appreciate it. You know, I was reading your book, and it's really it's disturbing to say the least. And the fact that well, what would you want people to know about your book? It sounds almost too fantastical to be true, but you've testified, and there hasn't been any libel suits against you. So I'm going to say it's true. Tell people what you think they should know about it.
Well, I've been speaking out on MK-Ultra mind control and healing from it for over 35 years. And my 1995 testimony for Congress, Transformation of America, was censored under national security because every bit of it had been validated by clean members of intelligence, law enforcement, Secret Service. All the evidence was just glaring. It was there. We just have no justice system to prosecute through, and didn't have a Congress that could even hear the testimony of this information because it was 1995. Bill Clinton was president.
113.
And Transformation of America, so it was censored. National security was invoked on it. That means that I wasn't able to
text
see
Grandpa
any
Josh.
justice.
The dogs are in
And I'll never see any
Adam's bus
justice
with the
other
AC
than
going,
what I consider to be
and the cats
ultimate
are all
justice
hiding.
of positive
Period.
change through public awareness.
I'm just sitting in the car by
Awareness is
myself.
key, and
It just hit
the reason they invoke
113.
national security is because knowledge is our defense against mind control, and mind control is being used to usher in a globalist slave society agenda that we're all experiencing today. So they didn't want people to have the information. They didn't want them to know what it was in 1995. Transformation of America would have looked prophetic because I knew who was going to be placed in the office of president until Hillary Clinton was supposed to usher in the New World Order in 2016. So obviously that didn't happen, and that's because so many people are awake and aware and have embraced the truth.
And so tell people how this started, so the mind control aspect of this is amazing. So they actually have, been studying how to control people's minds. They can put you in some sort of trance,
I'm gonna take a nap.
and they could then you are then their robot to use as they want. So how did it start with you?
Well, I was deep in the swamp with the perpetrators that steal elections and fund their globalist agenda with drug and human trafficking, and who use mind control to usher in their agenda.
I am so protected. You guys have no idea how close, like how close in my peripherals the whole Epstein thing was, and like a lot of this trafficking stuff all was happening like right in my area. Like, it's crazy how like lucky I have been to have,
because with them came the formula for
like,
mind
I had
control. And
in order to keep me safe, I've had like severe injuries that prevented me from going to certain places, like dislocated hips and
prior to age 5,
hyperextended knees and busted open heads.
It shuts down the trauma, shuts down neuron pathways in the brain, represses it deep into the subconscious.
Super protected.
So the rest of the mind can develop and function normally. Well, as neuron pathways shut down, we become more suggestible and easily led. The fact that I was born into a multi-generational incest-based family made me a target for MK Ultra mind control. And it was so simple how it happened in my experience, because my father was sexually and ritually abused. My mother was sexually abused and trafficked to my grandfather's Blue Masonic Lodge. That Blue Masonic Lodge keeps all the these secret societies are keeping secrets on mind control. Just like the National Security Act that came into play in 1947 has been used to suppress this pertinent information. And so the information on mind control has been kept from society for a long time. And that's where the local politicians and law enforcement hung out, at my grandfather's Blue Masonic Lodge. So my father's sexual abuse of me that started in infancy extended into child pornography. This was in Muskegon, Michigan, back in around 1960, because I was born in 1957, and I was used in the child pornography.
My mother is
also being trafficked to my grandfather's lodge to local politicians.
A child victim
and one of those local
of an elite pedophile ring.
My father had been caught sending child pornography of me through the U.S.
And my grandma had no idea. My grandpa had no idea. It was my grandfather's father who was doing it.
This shows how long our justice system has been corrupted by so-called national security.
He molested her and took her to all kinds of places to be molested by other people until she was like 11.
This politician
12.
was Gerald Ford, and that's the same
until
Gerald
she got her
Ford
period and grew boobs.
Become the unelected president of the United States.
And then they tried to have a biker gang kill her.
Escalated, so too did my victimization in MK Ultra mind control.
She got chased
until I was used at the White House Pentagon level.
On a beach, a guy held a gun to her head, and he almost shot her with a shotgun. And I don't remember what happened, if something like the gun jammed or something happened, I don't remember, but he got distracted long enough for her to run, and then she went and hid in the dunes and had to be quiet and try to keep from being heard while they looked for her with fucking little flashlights, 1975 flashlights
or anything like that. He looks like this unassuming oh shucks kind of a guy, and of course he was instrumental in covering up the JFK assassination, which is why he was on the Warren Commission, which is why he was allowed to, which is why he was installed as president. And so of course he's the most nefarious of them. That's what they look like. When the devil comes, he's not going to be wearing horns. He's going to be wearing a crew neck sweater and glasses, and so that's what I always say. Or he's going to be looking like Gerald Ford. So so that's what it was. So they had caught your father with child porn going through the U.S. mail, and then that's what got him the impetus for him to then sell you into the CIA MK Ultra program. And how old were you then?
I was around 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old. I was full on in the project. But I've been trafficked to Ford at my grandfather's Masonic Lodge as a little bitty toddler. So it's a blurred line in that regard for when it all started, because MK Ultra's been a part of my my whole life ever since I was born. By the time that I was sold into the project, I was being used in blackmail videos at the Epstein Island of its time, Mackinac Island, Michigan, which is where the governor's mansion is located.
That's notorious too. There's a whole Franklin scandal story about that.
Yes.
They're all over the place.
Yeah, it's a notoriously bad place, and you know, like I said, it was the Epstein Island of its time. That's where these globalists, these local politicians, the state politicians, and global leaders would meet and discuss how they were going to use this mind control formula on the population, infiltrate the school systems, the churches, society as a whole, the media, you know, and all of that. So they don't trust each other either. So they hold each other by the blackmail, so to speak. So those blackmail videos were being made then, and I was used in them for the first 30 years of my life.
And so frats, you know, like these college frats that you hear about. First of all, I don't know why we have college fraternities. It's very strange. What is a fraternity for? Like, you're going to get together and hook each other up later in life secretly, and everybody thinks that's normal. So imagine the worst thing you heard about a college frat, but it's the most powerful people in the world, and they have no consequences for any crazy shit they do. What do you think they'd get up to? Well, it's in Kathy's book.
Right.
So you were a victim of Gerald Ford's. He molested you?
Yes, as a little bitty child. And by the time I was sold into the project and taken to Mackinac Island, Michigan, I was also subjected to Pierre Trudeau, who was a Prime Minister of Canada, and he was a master of mind control of individuals and nations. So at Mackinac Island, Michigan, where I also met who had become my owner in MK Ultra, and that was U.S. Senator Robert C. Byrd. So as you'll notice, I'm mentioning Democrats and Republicans. I'm mentioning various global leaders because they've all been in this together. It doesn't matter about party lines or even nations to this globalist agenda.
So Trudeau from Canada also raped you, is what you're saying, when you were a child?
Yes, when I was 9.
When you were 9 years old. Okay, and so that started with Gerald Ford. So you mentioned a lot of other, you mentioned Robert Byrd. Now, I don't know if people remember Robert Byrd. I do. He was a former Grand Wizard of the KKK who became a senator who Joe Biden bragged about working with.
Obama spoke in his eulogy. Also, his reason is, I just joined because I thought it would help me politically, and somehow that's a good answer. Somehow people are like, oh, great, he wasn't. So not only you're worse than a KKK, basically. You join that horrible thing because you're that much of a phony that you would join something that evil just to get it. Like, it's absurd. It's really.
So, and so Robert Byrd, in the book, you talk about how he was a sadist, right? And he liked to beat you.
He was extremely violent, and he used that for mind control purposes because, again, trauma is a basis of mind control, and he was acutely aware of that, and he was all about control. It's not about perversion, it's about control. It's same as it is when children are sexually assaulted. It's about control and power. It's not about any kind of perversion. Yeah, Senator Byrd was in office for over 50 years and was very in high positions of power and influence. And when we understand that and start seeing what occurred during his time, how our country was sold out to this globalist agenda. The erosion of our constitutional values of freedom and justice for all occurred under his watch.
And so you also identify Dick Cheney in the book, and Bill Richardson, who people might not remember. I do remember from the Clinton administration. I think he was also governor of New Mexico.
Yeah.
And
as an Epstein visitor, Leahy chapter really creeped me out because he put that book out when he retired about how he was told Iraq was fake.
Oh my God,
dude! I knew
dude!
this story in your book, and I was watching
It's 114 degrees.
And it was talking about how somebody from an agency gives him a note that it's not a good thing to go to Iraq, and he just kept it to himself the whole time until he wrote his book. And I was like, wow, what a hero! Thank you for
Wow.
Thank you for not revealing that until now in your book. So right then I'm like, that's kind of creepy. Then when I heard the chapter in your book, I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That adds up.
So go ahead.
A lot of the people that I mentioned.
I'm gonna go. My phone is hot. I'll talk to you guys later.